Today, on Chai with Director Rai at IIMI, we have with us an iconic figure in Indian psychology, Professor Ramadhar Singh, distinguished university professor at the Amrut Modi School of Management, Ahmedabad University, a guiding light in my personal journey, and a mentor I deeply admire. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Director Rai. And you said that I have been a mentor, but I feel equally proud that you have done so well and you are leading IIMI in such a way. So congratulations, and I'm privileged that you have invited me for a cup of tea with you.
Thank you so much, sir. आपका ही आशीर्वाद है. Sir, you grew up in a small farming village in Nepal, became the first in your family to get a formal education, and went on to make global waves in psychology. Who has been the strongest pillar behind your education?
As you said, I am the first one to have formal education in the family because we come from farmers' family. And as I recall back now, in 1 year my elder brother died of typhoid. Next year, a younger brother and a sister died of smallpox. Then my villagers came and told my mother that you are a farmer, but you are educating your children. That's why they are dying.
Oh gosh.
And I now understand. She said, let them die, but I will educate them. This is the one thing about my mother I see. Then at a second stage, when I was in college, flood was coming in Bangmati River from north, and railway station is 4 miles south from my village. So my mother said that, no, you go to your college, otherwise you would not be able to go to college. So flood is coming and I'm running. This is the second incident you can see. And when I opted for psychology as my honors, then my villagers told my father that your son will beg because he must study English and economics. So he was a very simple person. He came and told my mother that people are saying कि ये भीख मांगेगा. She said, भीख मांगने दीजिए, जो मन है सो करने दीजिए. खेत तो है, जोतेगा उसको कमाएगा. Means, let him do whatever he wants to do.
Right.
I have land, he would cultivate and live, but he should not be disturbed. So when I look back and see of what determination my mother was, and now you see by third and fourth generations, her genes are in US, Australia, New Zealand, India, Nepal. So this is her contribution in my development.
Phenomenal. जैसे बोलते हैं कि माता निर्माता भवति.
तो
निर्माण माँ ने ही किया.
Because at that time I could not understand. In fact, sometime I resented when she said, run away, otherwise you would not be able to go to college. But now, when I look back in hindsight, say, how far-sighted she was.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you have walked the halls of IIT Kanpur, IIM Ahmedabad, NUS Singapore, and now Ahmedabad University, while influencing thousands of minds along the way. What's something you know about career choices that you wish the young Ramadhar Singh had known at the start?
My village is half-mile inside Nepal. My high school was half-mile inside Bihar, India. Now, one day, while going to the school at the border, I realized that if I work hard, I can make a difference. And then whenever we will do anything wrong, like plucking sugar cane or, mango, then the farmers would come and complain to the headmaster. So he would protect us, but when those farmers are gone, he used to boast, I have studied psychology. I have taken a subject in my B.Ed. That made me interested in psychology. I said, okay, if he can understand us by taking one course, and if I study psychology, what would happen? So that in high school itself, I decided I will do PhD, and that would be from US.
Wonderful.
You see this history? Okay. Then after my BA, I started trying for Fulbright and got the award in 4th year. 3 attempts I did not get, but in 4th I did not give up. That changed the course. So I was very clear about my goal and determination that I will do. And you see, this is where I am from.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. So we often hear people say that the world is a theater, but you have shown the world how everything is psychology. From fairness and justice to attraction in relationships, how do you see psychology quietly operating in the most unexpected corners of research and even industries today?
See, Himanshu, we all are psychologists. Ever since we have civilization, the way we think, the way we act, the way we imagine all these, they are all based on psychological principles. As a psychological scientist, what we have done, we simply translate those everyday observations into reliable and replicable phenomena, facts and principles. This is what we do. Now, in this process, you said, like a stream. Throughout my life, when I read something, I always start thinking, can it be done in a different way? Can it be interpreted in a different way? Can the data be analyzed in a different way? I never accept, even though something is published, I don't accept it as truth. And in that process, in different areas, you see, that I did the research, whenever I found something, I picked up the issue and persisted until I became convinced that this is worth making public. And it is the sheer joy of understanding or explaining something in a different way that keeps me going.
I think this is a lesson which every potential researcher ought to learn. Sir, I still remember one of the things that you have said many things, and there are many things that I follow from everything that I've heard from you and everything that I've learned from you. But one of the things you said that before doing any research, ask yourself, am I learning something from it? And then only do that research if the answer is yes. And I think you just...
Most people do not even know what is the answer they are looking for or what is the question. Or when they have completed the research, ask them to describe in 2 or 3 sentences, they would not be. They would say, I have used ANOVA, I have done the regression analysis. This is not research. What was the question and what is the answer? So I always tell them, can you describe your research to your husband, your wife, your peers, your parents in 2, 3 sentences, what you have done?
Perfect. Perfect. Sir, and besides all of your research, you have held significant leadership roles. Deputy head at NUS, chair at IIMI Ahmedabad, and mentored countless scholars. What is that one timeless principle of academic or administrative leadership you always come back to, no matter where you are?
I think I had once told you, never go to a place to see what happens. Go there to make things happen.
Yes.
So, in my conception, being a lecturer or a professor was having a bicycle, an umbrella, or a leather bag. Beyond that, I never thought. But when I accepted these positions, I always said this, that this is an opportunity for me to serve that institution. I'm fortunate and blessed that I got a chance to work at here or study here or to come to your studio and get those lectures recorded. So I said, do it well, do it or don't do it. But chalta hai is not acceptable.
Absolutely.
It has to be excellent, not कि कुछ कर दो या चला दो. This is not acceptable. And this is the one which keeps me going.
If something is worth doing, it is worth doing well.
Yes. That at least the audience or your student should not feel that this man came without preparation. He's not serious. So actually our student, our audience, our public, whoever listen to us, they are God for us. So this is the role. So I always get engrossed in the role just like Amitabh Bachchan does. He is my inspiration.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. In fact, J.R.D. Tata used to say that aim for perfection, then you will get excellence.
That's right.
And if you aim for something middling, obviously you will end up with nothing.
And so you always have to think, like one example I can give you. Throughout my life, people said, what can you expect from a high school student? What you expect from a graduate? What you would expect from a PhD. What do you expect from a professor? My God, then from whom should I expect something? Okay. When I came to IIT, it was a great privilege and honor for me that I came. They'll say, from India it cannot be done. Or even in business school, they say, India. I always said it is possible to do everything from India. And with that mission I worked, and whatever I have done, you have seen.
Absolutely. So that brings me to the next question, sir. What would be your top 2-3 research tips for young scholars today, especially for those outside psychology, on how to bring psychological thinking into their work, whether they are in design, business, policy, or even science?
You know, early in the morning when I get up, I look at the LinkedIn. When people describe their research or report their thesis, or they would say, I have published a paper in ABDC journal. My advice to them, whether it is published in A, B, D, or C, it is not important for a researcher. What is important is, have I understood something and can I describe clearly to others? This is the advice I'm giving to the youngsters. So this is one, that you should have enjoyed doing your research.
Absolutely.
And then share it with our peers or scientific community. And you are saying like, I'm a psychologist, I pick up those ideas, but I think always in a broader scientific term. And some thought I can share. You know, social activists, they feel disturbed with the existing system, so they question and come up with an alternative, like Ishwarchand Vidyasagar or Raja Ram Mohan Rai. Okay. Similarly, we scientists, we see something and we feel, no, it is not right, it can be in a different way. So we question the status quo and come up with better alternative. Our lawmakers, they feel that things are not right, so they come up with a new law and they coerce us to conform to it. Okay. So everywhere there is existing system and we try to make it better. Right. Okay. So this is by doing the research, either in your field or in society, have you brought about any change? If you have done, then this is research. This is another advice I would give to them. A third, we do research not to make money. Unless the person is enjoying what he or she is doing, it would not be a real research. And it would appear like something, boasting, or sometime up to 15 years I have studied a problem, then wrote the report. And the best example is that inferring missing information from given information. The first experiment was done in 1975 at IIT Kanpur. It was made public in 84 and it got published in 91. And that led to that inclusion among faces and minds of psychological science. It remained unappreciated until an Ohio State professor, Robert Arkin, said, no, this is something. So it is the pleasure part of research that keeps you going and in that stream. And I would advise the same thing too. So research should not be done to get bonus or to get what you give in IIM, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, incentives. No, research is never done for incentives. Otherwise, C.V. Raman would not have established his lab at home and came up with a Raman effect, a Nobel Prize.
Right, sir.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you said that, you should be having fun.
Yes.
Doing whatever it is that you're doing.
For me, what you have made me do, I'm working like a high school. No, like a high school. And everything, when I look back in a different perspective, and it is the sheer pleasure of it. Right?
Absolutely.
There is people think that you must be paying me money or I'm expecting. No, you made a call and I said, okay, if we do it, we do it.
Absolutely.
So this is the way I have done, and it has to be all or none. It has to be perfect or not at all.
Perfect, sir. And that brings me to the rapid fire round, sir. इसमें बिल्कुल सोचना नहीं है और त्वरित उत्तर देना है. What psychological theory could you talk about even in your sleep?
you have known that father of American psychology was William James, a philosopher, more of a. So his social functionalism. He always said that for each psychological process should be judged by the function it serves.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What's one habit you have kept since your youth that you still swear by today?
Same thing I said. If you accept something, do it well. Never compromise with the standard.
Perfect. Which song or music genre takes you back to your college days?
बिन जाने और बिन पहचाने हम तुम पर कुर्बान मोहब्बत इसको कहते हैं.
Wow.
I think it was Devanand song. Devanand song.
Wonderful. One book that changed how you think forever.
You know, my mentor Nan Burns wrote The Attraction Paradigm in 1971. That book had considerable impact on my scientific thinking and how research should be done.
All right. If not psychology, what field would you be in?
Hindi literature.
I should have guessed that.
Every day after my lunch and before going to bed in night, I read something in Hindi literature.
Absolutely.
And they are real learned person. We are nothing.
And I know it as a matter of fact कि प्रेमचंद तो आपने पूरा ही पढ़ लिया
Yes.
है.
No. In my opinion, I have not come across anyone like Premchand whose ability to observe and express. And in fact, in I think 22, I had written to our Honorable Prime Minister to give him Bharat Ratna after reading his book.
Wonderful, wonderful. A myth about research or academia you wish people would stop believing.
I think I said earlier, they think that I have published a paper. That's a myth. What you have published, that should be the important. The understanding or my ability to offer a better alternative, that should be the goal. Otherwise, asking how I have analyzed, how many papers I have published, where I have published, this is the completely total myth.
Okay. The emotion that drives you the most.
Love. So whether love for human being, love for my students, love for my wife, love for my children.
Lovely.
You remember the anger, fear, and love, right? So love is the strongest one.
Absolutely. Wonderful. A student or mentee who surprised you in the best way.
Yes. A.D. Tong of NUS.
Okay.
He did third-year project with me and BA honors, but somehow I could not notice. And we did not publish even his findings. But the way AD, he went to Michigan, got PhD, and now he is a full professor at NUS. So AD Tong really surprised me, and I admire. So almost all his fellowship, other things, I nominated him. No, because a student should.
Absolutely.
If somebody deserving one, he ought to be recognized. So there was another girl, Sini Cheong. She was an undergraduate student. So if a student is not able to get supervisor, Singhi, like my granddaughter, bring that student, say, sir, you have to supervise her or him. So I'm also very fond of Sini Cheong.
Wonderful, sir. Sir, if a movie were made on your life, what would the title be and who would play you?
मुश्किल नहीं है कुछ भी अगर ठान लीजिए.
Okay.
और पंकज त्रिपाठी और कार्तिक आर्यन should act.
Arey, wonderful. Wonderful. That's a very interesting combination. Good. What's the silliest mistake you have made early in your career that you still laugh about?
In 65, when I passed my MA, I had 68.5 percentage marks at that time, which was a record marks at Muzaffarpur. So I thought to get a job for me would not be easy. At that time, I was citizen of Nepal. So I went to Nepal and got rejected. And the candidate who got hired was somebody who had a third-class master's degree from BHU. So I started crying. Age was, I think, 22. I think that crying I consider as my silliest mistake. Because had I been hired at Nepal, I could have been lost. By not getting hired, you see the options in life. And I usually narrate to students when I inspire them or motivate them that if you try for something and you don't get it, that means something better is waiting for you, but you have not set your arrow correctly.
Lovely.
So that crying I consider as the silliest mistake.
Absolutely. If you could invent a new holiday just for yourself, what would it celebrate?
I would like to meet my high school and college peers or take Prabha to Mount Everest.
Wonderful. And finally, a moment at IIM Indore that always makes you smile.
So thank you very much for celebrating my 80th birthday on your campus. I'm grateful to you, Ananya, and all the entire team.
It was a pleasure for us to do so, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir, for being with the show. And it was not only a joy for me personally to be talking to my mentor, Professor Ramadhar Singh, but I think all of us who are going to watch this podcast are going to learn something and take it for the rest of our lives. Thank you very much once again for being on Chai with Director Rai at IIMI.
Thank you.